Hello, hello, and once again, we are back on Friday Night Live. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? My name is Eugene Tay, Prince of Paranormal, and here to accompany you on this beautiful Friday evening. Beautiful because we don't know what's going to happen for the rest of July, because according to people with Premonition, we are quite fucked. So, anyway, there's a couple of things today. This week is Army Week, so you probably expect me to sing an Army song. But today's also 4th of July, so to all our US fans watching in, happy 4th of July. Uh, and if you remember the movie Independence Day, the Earth's kind of fucked as well. So I thought a pretty appropriate song to sing for you guys today is a song by Barry McGuire. This is from 1965. So to all the Gen Xers and Boomers, if you know this one, well, do sing along. It's one of my favorites, actually. The Eastern world, it is exploding, violence flaring, bullets floating. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. You don't believe in war, but what's that gun you're toting? And even the Jordan River has bodies floating, but you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, how you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction.
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions. Hello, hello, welcome back. This is a mic check moment, so give me some time to do a mic check with you guys. How am I sounding? I need you guys to let me know. Am I sounding okay? Loud enough? Not loud enough? I'm going close to the mic. This is how close I am. And I've really bumped up the gain. Still soft. Better than just now, but still soft. Loud enough. Sounding good, but soft. Okay. I'm going to bump up a bit more. Let me know if the sound cracks, okay? Check 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 2 2 2. Testing, testing. Not as loud as a song. Thank you, Serene Tan. Coffee for you. There's Alexandra as well. Alexandra Ding. Thank you very much. Eugene can end later to make up for last week. You know, the week before last, we did a 4 hours live stream. Hello. Okay, wait. Sound check first. Sound check first. Oh, good. Can hear in Australia already. Thank you, Reka. Keep trying. I don't know why Alvin go hear the other device lah. Still soft. Okay. Is it only Alvin or is everyone okay? I just want to get an idea how much I can boost it up. The hantu sounded loud enough, but still can be louder. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Let me try. Okay, because the last time I went down to, I brought my entire system down to, okay, thank you, Samuel Yen. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, sir. Mic check, mic check. I boosted up to 17 now. Thank you, Koshka, as well. Haro, haro. Another 4 hours tonight. I love it. I love it that you guys love it. You know, I mean, to hear you guys know that you want more is a huge motivation for me. And quite frankly, that, you know, like a performer, right? When you're playing in front of a crowd and you just live off the energy instead of playing to a empty room. So yeah, I'm getting that kind of vibe right now, and I'm ready to go. I'm fucking ready to go. Okay, just do what's comfortable for you, bro. Don't worry, I'm very comfortable. I want what's best for everyone. It's not about me sitting here, you know, and I'm clocking time. I'm not. This is Friday. Okay, this is peak. This is not rest of the weekday. This is Friday night where people go for dates, people go out, catch a movie. But I love doing what I love, and for those of you who have been with me for some time, I think my Friday nights have been with you guys for close to 6. This is my 6th year running it, and usually I have with me certain guests, plus ones and all. But just to keep you guys, those who are just joining us or discovered us, a bit of background story about Supernatural Confessions and where we are and how did we get here today. So just a cliff notes, right? So Supernatural Confessions, this year we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary. We just completed our Something Strange festival. We had the longest podcast along with Hantu, POV horror, and the following week we have the live show, and that ran to 4 hours as well. Thank you, Alexandra Ding, once again. 6 hour 30 minutes record next year. Okay, if you don't know what Alexandra Ding is talking about, go to our Supernatural Confessions YouTube. Go and check out the last 2 live videos. Those the specials that we conducted for the festival, and I honestly was blown away with the stories. And you know, live show, it's unscripted. The confessions come in, there's unscripted. So we don't really know what we're gonna get. Sometimes we get good confessions, like what you had last few weeks, and some week, you know, Friday Night Live isn't as interesting. But it's not the confessor's fault. It's maybe I picked wrongly, or, you know, the dynamics is wrong. There's even one time I tried to get really creative with how I'm going to tell my story. In my mind, it worked out really well. Like, I was going to tell a story, stop, and then let you guys have your own, choose your own adventure, choose your own adventure style, storytelling. Yeah, it worked better in my head than it did in the show. So yeah, I think that one kind of tanked for me personally. I did not enjoy that one as much. Jenny James, hello from Florida. Happy Independence Day. Hope everything is well with you. I heard some of my American friends are pissed off. Some American friends are in support of it. So I think the country is kind of divided. It's hard to please everyone. I know that, but for at least the next 1.5 hour or 2 hours, we can all be bonded with the love of the paranormal. No matter how old you are, what's your skin color, whatever gender alignment that you want to call yourself, none of this matters. When it comes to supernatural, we all love a damn good ghost story. And that's what we're going to have here tonight on Friday Night Live with me, your host, Prince of Paranormal, Eugene Tay. Let's kick off the show by thanking some very important people. And these are our patrons. And thank you so much, patrons, for sticking by me, supporting me, and helping me make this show possible. Ladies and gentlemen, let us thank our patrons. Starting from the sentient patron, they are Elaine Chua, Katniss Everdeen, M. Cole Grimm, ZP Matt, Queen Lai, Elvin Sensei, Casey Chan, Janice Ang, Yong Kwan Yu, Jervin, Starving Jack, Hot Water Bottle, Eric, Edwin Lees, SD Lin, Neurologic, BBK Kailan, EpicFishing.com, Sandit Singh, Maiden New Tense, Sean, Arjun, Kenneth Ho. For spirits, we have Joel Go, Jacking To, Linda Hayden, Kenny Polaris, LEX, Just Neo, Jerry Fish, Bibit Teo, Tehat Wee, Serin Tan, Calvin C, TT Bay, Jujube Jume, Devin Des, Lechmi, Gary Fu, Martina Felony, Isaac, Henry Joshua, Ignatius Lam E Chong, Ed A, Yao Shu, J. Kai C, Guyver Cheng Lek Ka, Koshka, T. Amelia, Jin, Yume, W. Cat, DN, Evan Kwa, Queen Wolf, Ang Han, Rin, Tan Wei Shun, JK, Hamster Barrels, Saranjit Kaur, T.E. Low, JJ, Apple Lee, So, Bao Li Yang, Andy, Gabriel Shen, Teddy, 2516, Charlie, and Alexander Quack. For our souls category, we have Suchieto, My Dear Wife Grace, Candy Chia, Ron K, Nicholas Bois, Rachel Y, Sharon Ng, Sherlyn Ng, Stella Chan, Yvonne Edwin, Jenia, Lin Tan, A.E. Erickson, Anna Lim, Gabriel T, Crimson CB Shock, and Solin. Oh, oops. And there we go. Thank you very much. There's a few ways you could help out with the show as well if you really enjoy this and you have you feel like, hey, this Friday Night Live is saving you a lot of money from going out drinking or catching the movies, and you put a little bit of that money to Supernatural Confessions. You can do so in a few ways. Join your Patreon. Patreon.com/Supernatural Confessions is the main way. You can also join us as a member of our YouTube channel. Supernatural Confessions YouTube channel. It's only $3 a month. $1 goes to YouTube, $2 goes to me, and what you're gonna get is a nice little green highlight on your name. When you type out your message, everyone can see who you are, and you get a nice little icon by the side of your name to give an indication of how lao jiao you are. I think right now the most lao jiao one is getting a red icon. Besides that, if you want to do some ad hoc what we call, in Singapore, like the tiao hua, tiao hua on me, right? So go click on the $ beside the comment section and put in any amount of money you want. That money will go to a very long way to help keep this channel going. Also, as I'm not always looking at the comment section, thanks, Koshka. Thank you very much. Demo for the newcomers. My goodness, Koshka put in some money just to demo for you guys. So, do take her lead. And, if you're feeling generous, click on the $ put in any amount of money. Thank you very much in advance. So, what I can do is when I'm not looking at the comment section and I'm reading the comments or reading the story or looking at the camera, that colored box will pop out in my face and I can see it very clearly. And I will promise to read all comments that comes in that colored box. But if I do miss your comments, like even on a normal screen, if I miss a comment, I do apologize because I really cannot stare at comment section while I'm reading the story at the same time. Back when I had a host or as two-person, when John is talking, I can quickly scroll up and check, right? Can multitask. Now a bit hard lah. Thank you, Samuel. Tiaoing for Eugene. Thank you so much. Atok Kyong is asking me, when are you going to do Supernatural tour in Europe? Atok, August first week, I'm going to London. Does that count? Europe? Does that count? Oh my goodness. No tariffs for all. Eugene, we want tickets to your Supernatural Rock concert 2025. You want to hear me sing? I'd like to thank my mother, my father for this beautiful request. Paris is on the way home. Paris have a confession today. I've got good stuff today, guys. I've got really good stuff today. And thank you so much for those who have responded. You know who you are. I'll read out your name later before I read out the comments. Thank you, Yu Tiao, as well, for SC Xiam Tiu. Also want to say thank you again as well for the generosity of those who have donated to the Children's Society, Singapore Children's Society, where we were doing the longest podcast. We raised a total of more than $1,800 from one night of longest podcast. If you missed it out, go check it out. Longest podcast, we had some very awesome guests. We had Kyle, myself, Nakia. None of us took a cent. We did not get paid for any of that. We wanted to run that as a charity to give back to the Children's Society. That was our adopted charity for this particular festival. Reason for that, I believe, at least maybe from my own perspective, I felt that Kyle, Nakia, myself, and most of us who are in the horror scene, we kind of miss our childhood, because most of our childhood, we grew up enjoying this ghost story, and now you kind of want to give back to the kids, if that makes sense. Or for some of us with the third eye, like Belinda, and she sees stuff, and her mom would tell her, yeah, don't think too much lah, nonsense lah, all this, right? So, though we can't go up to the Children's Society or the Children's Home and tell them ghost stories, one way we could do it is to put a little bit money with them, and hopefully that goes a long way as well. So thank you so much to the SC community for supporting that donation drive, and on behalf of Children's Society as well, we wanted to thank all of you. All right. Today is the 4th of July, Independence Day for our American friends, and for Singaporeans, we celebrate Army Day on the 1st of July every year. And if you have been with me on Supernatural Confessions live show, Friday Night Live, you know that first week of July is dedicated to our men and women, our boys and girls in green. And because army stories really have no end. No end. Today, if you have joined us on SC at a 9:30 featured confession, you'll find Rod, our anonymous confessor, who talked about his own experience during BMT, that's basic military training, for those of you who do not know. For Singaporeans male, when we turn 18, we are conscripted to the army, and the first place we're going to go is the BMT. Most of us will end up at Tekong, some of us will end up in mono intake in some of the other camps around Singapore, but if you end up in Tekong, you get Tekong stories, and Tekong stories are endless. Today, as well, no exceptions. This is one of the episodes that you can expect from SC. Every July, we'll share army stories with you. So some of the stories that came to me, I kept it. I didn't want to share it in any other months, right? So I kept it for today, and I'm happy to share with you some of the ones that really scared the fuck out of me when I asked them. I didn't get a chance to interview them, but I remember it, and I'm going to retell it to you. Perhaps the first story that we will talk about today comes from our dear queen, Paris Maitreya. Paris, are you back home? Are you listening to us? Paris, are you there? Let us know. This one is from you. Thank you very much. Alright. This was 1990. I was in Sungai Gedong camp. I was sleeping that night in another bunk. My bed was next to the corridor outside. Suddenly, I just woke up, my heart pounding for no reason. And I then noticed the old-fashioned window directly facing the corridor is missing a few horizontal glass panels. Then I saw 3 figures glide past wearing camo number 4 uniform. The 2 behind carrying rifles. The one in front bald, like he's been caught by rifle holders. All 3 were pale, but as I passed by the window, I could swear they noticed me. I was frozen to my bed. As the door was right beside me and I didn't dare to climb out of bed, I feared they might be at the door. So I closed my eyes and just passed out. The next incident happened same as before. Suddenly waking up, this time I was opposite the bunk door. However, I didn't see anything, so I closed my eyes. Ever get this feeling that when your eyes are closed but you can sense something coming closer? Like there's this presence. I could feel something moving closer, but when I opened my eyes, it stopped and no one was there. When I opened my eyes again, that was when something lunged at me and grabbed my neck. I recalled screaming, really screaming, but no one came to help me. In the end, I just passed out. Next morning, I yelled at my bunkmates. Why did no one come to help me? Why no one come to help me? How does Perry sound like? Oi, why no one come to help me? Since they were all in the same bunk. However, no one heard me. You weren't screaming, they said. You were sleeping soundly. No sound last night. One of the guys was a Chinese temple medium. Said that the spirit most likely closed off my vocal cords so that no one could hear me. I read scratch marks around my neck too. Everyone saw them. These were the two of the scariest scenarios that happened to me during my army time. Both happened at Sungai Gedong camp. Paris, did I sound like you? Okay, so Sungai Gedong, a bit of background information, okay? Sometimes we talk about ghost story and then we assume that everyone knows the stuff that we talk about. Sungai Gedong. Okay. Sungai Gedong camp is on the western side of Singapore. It's near NTU. It's near the cemetery, and it's known to be very, very dusty. It's the home of our Singapore armor. Yes, SAF armor. That's right. And the tanks will all be there going around. You can hear grrr, and live firing happens somewhere around there as well. So, Sungai Gedong has traditionally been a hot spot for hauntings, mainly because it's situated pretty close to cemetery. The 42nd and 48th Battalion Singapore Armour Regiment is there. The 38th Battalion Singapore Combat Engineers are there. That's where the Armour Training Institute is as well. It's at Lim Chu Kang, right, near the Western Water Catchment area. So a bit of historical background about the place. It originates from a World War II era British camp. This is from the 1940s time before it was handed over to SAF only in 2001. So for the longest time, that area is known for its live firing demonstrations. And I've been there myself as well. You walk into Sungai Gedong, you walk out, you just turn brown. Why brown? Because sand, right? So it's a very dusty place. I was speaking to somebody, one of the scouts, and he was telling me about a battalion exercise. The battalion exercise means you get the different parts of the military coming down. UTL saying swift and decisive, the cutting edge. UTL must be armor, is it? Yeah. Okay, but maybe before I tell you about the next confession, why don't we talk a bit about Perry's confession? Anyone has any comments about Perry's experience that you want to? He's here on the chat group. He will read what you're texting. Anything you want to talk about? Anything that you think he's experiencing? Any theories, hypotheses? Once joined armor, always got hearing problem. Koshka says, always a long hair lady in white. My brother told me he saw one at Springleaf Camp in the 90s. Stared at her cause he was too stunned to move. Gedong is a bit creepy, says Joel YJK. I next week going back there for reservists. Well done, Joel. So let us creep you out first before you go back so your mind will raise and hopefully you'll see something and then can come back and report to us, okay? Joel, don't forget to send in your confessions. All army camps have secret that government don't want you to know. If you remember the story I told about my own guard duty story, where we recorded some anomaly on camera. It was recorded. CCTV caught it. We had a call. BOS call. We got to call the duty orderly sergeant. Duty orderly sergeant couldn't do anything. Escalated to battalion orderly sergeant, who then escalated to what I call the X-Files division of the SAF. They came down, they looked at the recording, and then they took the tape. That time was still tape, or I said CD. I don't know what they took lah, and they never came back. So I truly believe that somewhere under Gombak is a X-Files division where they keep all this sort of content. ROD from there a few years ago, it seems clean to me now though. Maybe, I've not been there in 2 decades, so I can't tell. Rear gate duty before entry into Area D, solid vibes. Titus Leong said, remember to wear your beret everywhere you go, especially when you sleep. I don't know if that works, Titus, to be honest, because we always have our beret on or our emblem on and our crest on, but yet our army camp seems haunted as hell. Does the crest really work? Was it just there to help us feel a bit more secure, but it does nothing? I highly doubt that $2 crest that you can buy from Beach Road has been blessed by the 10 different religious masters in Singapore, religious representative in Singapore. Kai says he was in Sungai Gedong during training. Encik would do prayers and offering before we went out for exercise. Okay, so Sungai Gedong story, and this one was told to me by a scout. Yeah, placebo effect, right, Fushan? This was told to me by a scout. So there was a battalion exercise happening in Sungai Gedong. So the tanks were there, the assault team was there, and of course my confessor, who was a scout, had to go out first to recce the location, look at enemy side, and find an observation post, an OP stationed there, and just observe and bring back intel. So scouts usually, they either go in pair or small groups, and they will go there and they would stay for hours, oftentimes alone, and definitely in places that they are not spotted easily. So the confessor was there, and if you have been to exercises, one of the things that is lacking is sleep. You don't really have enough sleep because you're out there in the field for multiple days, and it's not always easy to sleep. So by the time you go second day, third day, you walk for so many kilometers, you're kind of shagged already lah. Thank you, Juggle Hat, stolen by Tokong Miss P. First in, last out. Represent. Member for a month. So he was walking, and then his partner was at a distance, so almost within line of sight, but not too close. So when he was there in his observation post, he just lie down and he just waited and started observing around. So it was nightfall already, right? The battalion will be coming in for dawn attack, so he had to stay there overnight all the way to the next morning. So as he was lying down there just waiting, he cannot tell that his first of multiple encounters that night was a dream or it was something that he saw. So in his description, he says he was just observing and he started seeing people running, people walking, that there's action and activity in the forest. And then he was like, kind of weird. So he's like radio back and say, is there any exercises here? What's going on? I've seen all this action and passing back intel. And there was no response. It was just static. And what he saw standing in the tree line was a soldier in older uniform. Not the current uniform, an older uniform. And he's like, strange, because that does not look like he's part of us. The helmet was all different as well. And when he got a closer look, he described this entity as skeletal. There was no skin on. There was skin, but it was like all taut and dried, and the face looked almost like a skeleton, like a skull, just standing there. And the more he stared, it's almost as if the skeleton got closer and closer towards him. So of course he panicked. He started to struggle, and when he started to struggle and he started to take in a deep breath, he suddenly woke up, and everything was gone. But when he described it, And he said how he felt is that it was not a dream. As far as he knows, it was not a dream. And then when he radioed back and asked if he has, he has contacted anyone, they say, observe radio silence, you're not supposed to contact anyone. And no, you did not contact. There was no prior contact, no picking out radio to talk to anyone. So kind of similar to how Paris felt as well when he was screaming and he's being choked, but no one else saw that. Then at night, he just went on again. He started just chilling out, started praying. And then he heard footsteps. Just from out of sight, just like people stepping, walking on dried grass, broken twigs. But don't forget, as a scout, he's at a spot where there's no one walking there. He's at observation post. So he just waited. And then the rotting smell came back. And he says, it's almost like smelling a mix of vomit and sweat. That sort of very putrid kind of smell. Once again, he looked around, and again, he went into that sleep state where now that skeleton soldier is even closer towards him. And he doesn't know what it wants, because at that point in time, he couldn't move, he couldn't breathe, he was just paralyzed. And all the soldier did was just pointed around him, or maybe behind him, around the area, and he just closed his eyes and he started praying. After that, he couldn't sleep, he started praying, he went over to his friend there, and then he bunked into his friend. Screw the mission, he was not willing to be alone anymore. But he did not tell the partner anything. He just kept quiet. He just says, I'll tell you tomorrow. But from his look and body language, you could tell that he was actually very frightened already. Next morning, exercise happened, finished, exercise cut. He was visibly shaken. And so the Inche was saying, what happened to you? You look like you are sick and you're very pale. What you want to do? You want to go and report sick? He says, no. Inche, last night, I saw this skeletal-looking soldier just keep coming to me, and I don't know why. It was very scary, very frightening. Then the Inche said, oh, that one, never mind, just ignore. So according to the Inche, in one of the urban legends, in the old days, one of the soldiers got crushed by a tank. And again, this is purely urban legend, we don't know. Was crushed by a tank, and they either left part of his body parts there. They could not find all his body parts to bury him as a soldier. So there are times where some soldiers will actually see this skeletal soldier around the Sungai Gedong exercise area looking for his body parts. So perhaps where the confessor was where part of, I think okay, this is me just thinking. If that happened to me, my first thought is not, it's easy to say I won't be scared now, right? It's easy to say, right? But I think my first thought would be the spirits wants to communicate something. Makes sense, right? If we sometimes see spirits and if we can prevent ourselves from running away out of fear, maybe we can actually help the spirits. I think that's me. So, sorry, y'all cannot hear me, is it? Cannot hear. Okay, I'm going to bump it up a bit more, okay? Let me know if the sound breaks up, because I'm almost at max already. Is it better now? Okay, better? Can you hear? Okay. So, I think my hypothesis after hearing this confession is that perhaps part of the body parts of that soldier was where the confessor was lying down on, or around the area. And the ghost wanted him to find the body parts and bring it back. Too loud, cracking already, Okay. Yeah, that's the thing with it being too loud. Okay, now, check. Better? Cracking, is it still cracking? Mic check. Yeah? Now too soft? Now solve. Check. 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. 2 2 2 2. 1 2 2 2 2. Okay, sounds good. All right. Perfect. Thank you, Derek. Louder. I tried going louder, Indigo, but my voice started cracking. Yeah, I'm. My gain is like all the way up already. Better now, huh? Okay. What did I miss? Did I miss anything that you guys have posted? Your streaming is fine all along. Thank you. Too soft. Good. Now soft. Cracking now. Now it's too loud and muffled. Yo. You're like the Goldilocks of live stream. It's now too soft. Oh, it's too loud and muffled. Now it's just nice. Okay, so okay, I can continue, yeah? Yeah, so Titus Leong, I tell you what, all the in-chase no stuff. Okay, I have a couple more confessors that I'm about to go interview. One of these is a retired in-chase. I met him at his house last week. He has a bit of a pain in the arm and in the leg, and we went over to try to help heal him. He's a retired army officer. I think Warren. And when I spoke to him, I said, "Do you have any stories to tell me?" He says, "Have so many." So I said, "I promise to come back to his place and interview him proper." And he speaks very well as well. So I'm hoping to get a full-on confession on video. He seems to be a very charming and eloquent man. So hopefully we can get that done. Okay. Perhaps have to Palo Santo the airwave. Speaking of which, I forgot the Palo Santo today. No wonder. All right. Is it all the in-chat in the camp share ghost stories to each other? Titus, I don't know, man. I have no idea. But between the in-chat and officer in the office, I trust the in-chat anytime because they're always out there in the field and they somehow know all what to do. There's one story I'm going to share with you guys. This one is actually from my walk with Hantu tour. So I'm just going to share one story with you guys. This story was actually told to me by John. So he says back then, this is the old times. Those of you who are still, can let me know whether is it still as haunted as it was before, because most of the good quality scares, right, are really from before my time. We're talking about the 80s, the 70s, the keras story. Nowadays, yeah, there's still the ghost in the toilet, the hair on the bed, but you don't get this kind of full-on possession like how did they used to have in the 70s when they were wearing the Temasek green. So this particular story was recruits going back to Tekong. Back then, you don't have an aircon fast craft to go back to Tekong. You sit on the, what do you call it? I believe it's called a fast craft. There, it's not really fast at all. It's like a big platform where you can drive your vehicle up. Then all of you soldiers stand there. You stand until you reach Tekong. Then the front flap will come down. RPL. Thank you. What is it called? What does RPL stand for? Rusty Iron Ship. Alexandra Deng says, Eugene, forget to drink. SAF. Okay. For you, Alexandra, I'll pour myself a drink later. RPL. RAM powered launch. Thank you. So the RPL will bring the soldiers to their side. The flag will come down. And everyone will just march out of the rusty piece of lump. one of the recruits stepped on Tekong, took a few steps in, collapsed. And people started tending to him like, hey, what's wrong? Are you okay? Then he was like blabbering and everything. And one of the Inche, again, Inche is the hero of any SAF story. One of the Inche saw what's going on and says, make way, something's not right. Because when you hear him speak, it was not in his own language, and it was some other language, no one knows what it is. And then the Inche sat on the recruit's chest and pointed to the recruit's face and says, who are you and what do you want? He probably tried a few different languages, and eventually he probably got the spirit to reply to him. And the spirit said, I just want to find a home. The Inche said, your kind stay in tree. You go and find a tree and you stay there. You leave this boy alone. And the recruit said, the ghost in the recruit said, I cannot. All the trees are full. Inche so stunned, yeah. Wow, fuck, what to do? He think about it for a while. He said, okay, tell you what, I make a deal with you. I send this boy back onto the RPL. We go back to Changi and you find another home there. Okay, deal? The spirit said deal. So the boy fell unconscious. Spirit probably kept aside the bargain. The body was just placed on the RPL and sailed back to Changi. His body was carried out of the RPL, placed on the ground. Straight away, he woke up. The boy woke up. He started speaking normally, and he could not recall what happened to him after he got out of Tekong and he took a few steps. He said he just saw a bright flash of light and he fell unconscious. So again, another Inche story. Now, when I first heard the stories, I was thinking, fuck, all the trees in Tekong are full. And since then, how many of these spirits have been coming over towards Changi? Is that why Changi is freaking haunted now? And could that be why the government says in 5 years' time, they want to ensure that Singapore has 10 million trees? You think it's for Garden City? You think it's to save the earth? Maybe the 10 million trees is for homes for the spirit. Alrighty, let's go on to our next confession. But before that, let me just go and grab myself a glass of drink, and I'll be right back. In the meantime, if you would like to check out the tours that we have an Ubin tour coming up this Saturday. Ubin? No. This Saturday is Walk with Hantu Changi. Next Saturday is Pulau Ubin. So if you've not been to any of my tours and you're wondering what's this tour that we talk about, Walk with Hantu Changi is the most popular signature SC tour that we have. And do get your slots soon, because you're looking at the roads, looking at the lamps, looking at how they have now turned Raintree Hotel fully into a renovated place. It is not too long more that Changi will not be the same as it was before. So go get your tickets as soon as you can. We're only running this once a month. The reason for that is I got so many tours to run, like Outram, Siglap, Ubin, and Changi, so I can't split myself into so many parts. So looking at that, we probably have 5 more Changi sessions before we end of the year. Where's my alcohol? Okay. I'll go and take it later. It's not near me at all, guys. Okay. How do you sign up, Terence? Go to our website, supernaturalconfessions.com. Go to tours. You click on it and you will be going to a sign up page. Or if you want to get in touch with me directly by WhatsApp, I have a new number. So if you have not seen if you don't know my old number, too bad. We're not using the old number anymore. We're only using a new number. So patrons and Pioneers, if you have my number, that's still the way to get to me. For everyone else, now I have a new number, 8337-9360. Reason as well is I can no longer keep up with the messages coming in. I wake up one morning and I see so many messages, queries, chit chat, people asking for help. So unable to manage that properly, and I don't want to miss any messages out. I have a new number, 8337-9360. This is also the number to the halls on the hill. So if you want to find out more about our classes, you want to hang out at our center, if you text 8337-9360, Patricia, myself, Belinda, Alvin will receive it. That's how we improve our communications with you guys. Okay, on to our next confession. Is Grace still around? Yeah, Grace is around. Grace is outside watching Friday Night Live. Ask PM for more budget for the Ministry of Supernatural Confession. I also want. The budget never include us. Whenever kena COS during weekends, always can feel something looking at me, which mono you at posted 6er. I was a scout spec in 6er, 10 mono. Okay. Next one is by Eugene Chan. Eugene Chan was one of our confessor at the live show for 2024 at Golden Mile. So you remember that guy who shared was one of the scariest confession that night? That is the same Eugene Chan. Here goes. Hey bro, my army ghost story for your show tomorrow. True story from my BMT days that I always shared with my friends. See if you want to use it. Dark figure by the window. It's been more than 20 years since my BMT days, but truly, as many Singaporean males will share, Tokong Island is full of stories. When I was posted to BMT, my good friend happened to be training at the block just next to mine. Company N. He always told me that his block was very, very dirty. Many platoon mates of his have reported seeing things, particularly on the 4th floor just next to the staircase and toilet, where there was a rope attached to the ceiling for trainees to practice climbing. When I arrived at Tekong, luck has it I was sent to Company O, just next to his block. And guess what? My bunk was on the 4th floor, with a connecting walkway to the block that led us to the very area rumored to have been the most keras. What rotten luck! What is worst, I was assigned the bed just next to the window, facing the corridor, the last bed. And my view directly at the infamous rope on the other block. My friend told me he was lucky and never went up to the 4th floor, but many things have happened there. It became worse when his entire company passed out just weeks later, leaving the entire block empty and pitch black. Now, every single night when the lights were off, I stared at the very area as I go to bed. The windows had to be open, and I would watch the rope sway in the darkness. The toilet next to me gave me awful vibes as well, and I always made a point to turn my head to face inwards to the bunk to sleep, even putting on earphones to sleep, just to keep my mind from wandering. Then one night, it happened. It was typically a drizzling evening. Our field exercise ended late. Everybody was so tired. Back to bunk, shower and in bed in 15 minutes. The sergeant made it clear. No more lights at 9:30, All in bed, no activities. Cold night, blanket on and super tired. Couldn't avoid the sight of the rope across the walkway, swaying left and right in the windy weather. Although it's as if somebody was hanging in it. I put on my earphones and fell asleep pretty quickly to the jazzy tunes of Class 95. It was about 3 a.m. when I suddenly felt a chill. Blanket was off, so pretty normal. I turned and picked up my watch at the side of the table to look at the time. That was when I got a shock of my life. Right in front of my bed, behind the window, stood a dark figure at the corridor. The shock was more that I was caught by a patrolling sergeant with my earphones still on. The shock was more... Oh, because you're supposed to lights off and supposed to sleep. So the shock was he thought the sergeant caught him out of bed and doing other things besides sleeping. There he stood staring at me. I couldn't look. I pretended to sleep, half thinking that that's it lah. He was coming in to ask me to get out of the bunk. I waited in fear, but nothing. Then it hit me. Who patrols at 3 a.m. in the night? And I don't remember seeing green uniform. It was just a dark shadow. So maybe I was just imagining it. I decided to have a second look, which I wish now I hadn't. Peering out of my sheets, I looked out of the window. The figure in front of my window was no longer standing there. In fact, it has shifted. Now, it's in front of the main bunk door. And I could see it. It was a dark, blurry figure, head bowed down. It was as though it wanted to come in but could not. The fear started to creep in. I looked around to see if any of my bunkmates were up, but it was just me. I pulled the sheets over the head and prayed hard. It was a long 10 to 15 minutes under the sheets. Then I fell back to sleep, fortunately. I woke up to the noise of my bunkmates getting up. I wanted to tell everybody what I saw, but I did not, in fear something might hear me. It wasn't until we passed out that I shared this story with my bunkmates at a gathering. And guess what? Another guy actually saw the same thing, validating everything was just not my imagination after all. Yeah. Speaking of Vince, the next confession is from Vince. Did I miss any messages? Eugene Chan is doing the real estate. Yep, he's the one. Had personal problems. Actually, 300-meter life range also damn karas. Yes! Oh, the life range. People... Okay, so there's one time, it's a short story, right? Someone was telling me the whole platoon was at a firing range. Firers, watch your front, magazine of 6-round load, cock and ready, right? Load and ready. Pop, pop. They started firing. Pop, pop. It's night shot, by the way, so you get tracer rounds like... Suddenly, people saw a shadow, and talking about everyone is firing, right? A shadow walking behind the targets. So everyone was there, including the person who was controlling, said, "What, rifle down," and then started blaring the alarm, said, trying to find out who was behind. When he went to check, there was no one behind. But everyone saw a shadow of a man walking across the back of the firing range. Because the back of firing range will have a bit of light, so you can see silhouette. And when you find tracer rounds, you can actually see the place light up. So you can see this shadow walking behind. Enough that even the controller was stopping the live firing. But when they went to check, there was no one. And who in the right mind will walk across when a live firing is going on? So what was it that everyone saw? Yep. Okay. Next one is by Vince. Oh, the shadow incident. That's why Thursday training was banned. Yeah, I used to be Thursday training was banned. In my time, they just lifted up the ban. You could still go for training out on Thursday nights. CCTV, Web John, I do not know. I was not there. This was a story told to me. But as a soldier, just doing your live firing, you probably don't have access to the CCTV. But perhaps the controller guys inside would have access to it. And if you know, like how I experienced in my own encounter, we will have to escalate the case, and then there'll be somebody from HQ will come down, see the CCTV, cannot explain, pack up and go back. Everything under carpet. Okay. Next confession by Vince. This is a true story that happened during my active NS days, around the second year. Most of us are in the same batch will know this story. Here goes. I was in the 10th mono intake of the now dissolved infantry regiment back in the early 2000s. One time, HQ decided to conduct a Tekan field camp for the whole regiment. Of what reasons, nobody actually knew. It was a grueling 5-day field camp filled with back-to-back exercises for all 4 companies of the regiment, from morning till late at night at Pulau Tekong. Each company would take turns to attack or defend, and vice versa. On the 3rd night, Bravo Company was sent to attack Charlie, or support company, when one of the sergeants in Bravo Company went missing. While doing a hook maneuver to try to flank the enemy, the section then tried to search for him near the operational area, and then it soon got the whole platoon involved. Then word got out to the rest of the regiment about the situation, and the whole regiment paused the exercises, got mobilized to comb the whole area to try to look for him. I was in the Alpha Company. I remember it was quite late into the night, but someone got excited because this might mean an exercise cut to the dreaded outfield. We were about half an hour into the search when we got news that he had been found and brought to medical attention. Sadly, the exercise was not cut and the missions went on till Friday. So, here comes the interesting part. Word got around fast in camp on how and what happened to the missing sergeant. My memory of this is a little hazy, but it went something like this. He was found dehydrated, disoriented, hiding from something in the old Malay school grounds, which is actually quite some distance away from the area of operations Bravo Company was in. When asked what happened, he had claimed that while he was flanking the enemy by himself, he saw a woman appear and motioned him to follow her. He had no idea why he followed. It was like he was hypnotized and had no will of his own. Some distance later, the woman would vanish and he regained control of himself and found refuge in the old Malay school where he was found by his men. Now his sergeant is known to his men and appears to be a devout Muslim and would not joke about such things. Real or trying to chowking, you decide. I think you want chowking also, you don't chowking like that lah. It's more trouble than it's worth lah. Okay, what do you guys believe? Real or not real? I believe it's real. Because trying to talking about seeing ghosts, not the wisest thing to do. Even Kwa says real. Oppo says not sure. Gil says real. Sounds real, right? Frankly, I mean, like, you want to talking. There's so many ways to talking lah. And also you're a sergeant lah. You're not, you got your men to answer to. You got your officer to answer to. You zao keng as a sergeant, you don't get any respect from your men. So I highly doubt he will put his credibility on the line just to get out of exercise. Besides, a 5-day exercise, if you're in army, you complain you can't pay but you still go through it anyway, right? Most of us go through it. 70%, if not 80% of us actually go through it. 20% probably zao keng lah. But you know what? A zao keng, guys, you're not going to wait for day 3 to zao keng. You're going to zao keng on day 1, right? Why go outfield, stay a few days already, then zao keng on third day? Doesn't make sense. Yeah, sergeants unlikely to zao keng. I agree with you, Samuel. PESB, HQ Koi, consider zao keng. No. I mean, you don't have to be zao keng throughout. What do you mean by zao keng is like you want to escape exercise. People zao keng with MC, not with hantu. You're right. It's easier to just go, Sergeant, I'm not feeling well. Sergeant, I leg pain. It's so much easier than walking off your route and hide alone inside a Malay village and then get found that way. It's too much trouble. There's one story. Okay, maybe I'll tell you later. I'll tell you after this. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, this is Friday Night Live. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can pop in any amount of money for this show. Join us as a member on Supernatural Confessions YouTube, or join us as a Patreon. Of course, being here, liking, sharing, and interacting with me is extremely valuable, and I thank you for your time and your efforts to keep me company on this Friday evening. We are halfway through our confession. We got a couple more to go. I'm looking at the time. We are 11:01 now. Next confession. Next confession is by Jenny's husband. Can I also just say I don't recall ever zao keng in army. I was one of those really siao on recruit lah. From Sec 1 to Sec 4, I was in uniform because I joined the NCC. After NCC, I carried on with my service by joining the Cadet Lieutenant course, and then I served another 2 more years during my poly days with Victoria Secondary School as their Cadet Lieutenant. Then after I finished poly, I should go into army, wear the green again, and I wanted to go to Ossifer course lah. Wanted to go Ossifer course, but the semi-sergeant course, never mind lah. Sergeant also not bad. But anyway, so I was one of those who everything volunteer, but I'm not as annoying as the guys you saw on Boys to Men, okay? I'm not one of those that sabo my friends to gain credit or saboing my friends. I was the guy who brother lai long zong key I tried to get everyone in, and I remember very very fondly my army days. In fact, one of our SC member is actually my bunk mate. We were in there together, but he joined a month later because I was the unfit, cannot do pull up, cannot run 2.4 batch, so I have to serve much longer there. I only downgraded momentarily in my BSLC. That's my basic sergeant. I can't remember what SLC stand for. I was going for my sergeant course, and then in one of the exercise, I injured my leg. Because, one of those siao one, right? Pain is only temporary, glory is forever. So pain also, I continue running, bocha, put spray, until my bone gave way. So what happened was basic section leader course. Thank you very much, Lawrence and Titus. So I was doing my SOC. I run, then I jump off. Last part you got to jump off. Maybe about 1.2 meter, 1. I don't know how high, but it's not a high jump. So I jumped and I landed both feet down together. It was a correct landing, but I felt electricity just shoot up my right leg, like from the heel, shoot up through my entire shin, and I couldn't move. I just stood there. I almost felt like my pee was coming out. I think I'm not afraid to say that I probably peed a little. But I was so sweaty, my clothes were all wet. You couldn't tell pee from sweat. I had to be stretched out of that place. Went to medic. And because again, right, no history of talking, right? So the doctor took me seriously. Went for scan and everything. My right shin got compound stress fracture. So imagine your femur, it's like spider web. So I said, no exercise, no running, no walking for 6 months at least to get the bone to heal up. Yeah. So after that, I went to School of Logistics, which was in Seletar. And that was where, of course, I had my own ghost story, which I shared with you guys before, my Seletar ghost story there. One of my guard duty personnel got possessed. We were doing rounds. I think I mentioned that last year. So if you want to check out that story, go check out 2024 Army episode. After 6 months, 1 year, straight away got my pink IC. Went back to guards lah. Then never look back. Every year, kena caught, go back for. I think I did more than 6 high key. Yeah. Anyway, army life. Okay, next confession. Next confession is by Jenny's Hubs. Jenny's husband. One early morning, about 5 plus a.m., his dad drove him. Okay, so this is Jenny's writing to me based on a story that her husband told her. Yeah, Jenny's husband. One early morning, about 5 plus a.m., his dad drove him, her husband, into the camp to report attendance. He was supposed to just clock in and then return home. While driving along the road inside the camp, they came across an old lady walking by the pavement beside the car. As my hubby was sleepy, he didn't think much of it. He just assumed it was the cookhouse auntie. And as from a distance, it looked like she was wearing a shower cap and decked out in kitchen apparel. When he finally reached his bunk, his superior wasn't around, so he had to wait for his arrival. While waiting, his dad kept intermittently calling him, asking him, "Did you see the Amma?" Hubs was sleepy and grumpy. I said, "No, I didn't entertain Dad's question." And he kept asking me again, "Did you see Amma? Did she have legs?" That's when it hit him. Ayo, Janice, you sent me the story half. Okay, so anyway, I heard the story directly from Janice's husband last week. So I'll tell you the story that I remember. So he was going into in camp, and his father drove him in. So it was about 4 a.m. lah. And around 4 a.m. he comes in. As he was driving in, he saw one Amma walking, right? At one glance, you would think that, okay lah, one Amma walking in towards camp, she's probably going in to prepare the meals for breakfast for the cookhouse. So the father dropped him all the way around the cookhouse area, and then near the bunk lah, but you can see the cookhouse and all that. So when he reached his bunk, he went in, and his dad was just outside because he was going to clock in and then he's going to come out. But when he wanted to go in to clock in, his sergeant was not there, so he had to wait for his sergeant, leaving the father outside alone in the car. And the father kept calling him, like, "Hey, are you done? Can you come out?" He's like, No, I'm not done yet. Hold on, I need to sign. Then the father, okay, put down the phone. 5 minutes later, the father called again. "Are you done? Can you come out?" He's like, "Wait, I'm not done yet. I need to sign." And then 5 minutes later, the father called again. "Son, can you come out?" Then he, okay lah. Then he signed and he quickly go out. He asked the father, "What is it you want?" The father asked him, "Hey, after driving past the Amma, do you see the Amma anywhere?" Then he thought for a while. "No." And that's where he hit him. The father asked him, "Does she have legs?" So as they were driving up the slope towards the bunk, the father was driving about 40 kilometers per hour. Somehow, the old lady was keeping pace with the car. And also, she wasn't wearing a shower cap nor deck in the kitchen apparel. She had a whole head of white hair that they thought from far it was actually the shower cap. And was wearing what seems to be clothing similar to those paper dolls that you burn as offering at the funeral. The scariest thing was, as she was walking, her shoulders were shimmering like a paper figure would when it was blown along by wind. You know the funeral paper doll? I try to find some picture for you guys. So if you get an idea how it looks like, those paper dolls that you would have at funeral, old traditional funerals or ghost wedding, where the paper is a bit shiny, a bit glossy, it looks like that. No legs, just floating alongside the car. When I heard this story, I was goosebumps. I got one more story to share with you before my last army confessions, and then I will talk a bit about the end of the world, supposedly tomorrow. This one was told to me. I cannot remember who told me. Very sorry about that, but it was a pretty damn good story. Story goes, it was exercise area, and it was a night exercise. There was a base area, operational area, and the vehicle will have to go out and perhaps like secure the area, like safety vehicle, go around the area and check out that everything is in order. So you imagine a number 8, right? So you have one loop and then one more loop, right? So the vehicle would, there's no need to drive down this loop because this loop is a shortcut back to HQ. So this is your base camp. So you drive out, you go along the length of the number 8, and you go to right at the end and you loop back. So this soldier who told me, this confessor told me, Encik suddenly called him and says, I just call him Tom lah, okay? Tom, come. I need to take your vehicle, take a few men, drive down, go and find the other vehicle. The other vehicle did not come back yet. Go and find. See where they are. So, okay lah. He took the other vehicle. He drove. As he was driving, he saw a soldier at the first intersection. Remember? Number 8, right? The first intersection. The soldier was beckoning to him and saying, go this way. Right? Pointing down the lane and go this way. So, of course, I thought, must be one of the soldier exercise, somehow they change their position. Why not? So, he drove down and he made a loop back to base camp. But what was strange is that when he came back to base camp, he didn't see anyone. There was nobody. The vehicles are there, the tentages are there, but there's no human beings there at all. So he said, hey, never mind, continue driving again. They all somewhere, drive again. Saw the same guy again. And then come back one round again. Still don't have. By now they already feel something's not right already. So second time he drive out again. They want to take a good look at the soldier's face to see who is it, right? Like, because they are all in the same company. Agak, they will know who is this clown directing them in the wrong direction, right? So they took like a torchlight and tried to look at his face. But what they all the three of them, driver and VCOM and a guy noticed, in that split second when the light touches what should have been the person's face, none of them could see a face. And it's also not like a flat egg shape. There was just black shadow. Imagine that, just a black shadow for a face. They got scared. They didn't want to turn anymore. They jump the accelerator. They go straight forward, right? Their normal route. They go straight forward. They make one round. They came back. They found that their base camp had people again. Straight away, the Encik saw them. All get out the vehicle. For the drivers, go report to medical. Exercise card for y'all. So when they all sitting in medical, they didn't know what happened. They started exchanging stories lah. So the first group asked the second group, the group that went searching for the first group says, "Hey, where you all go? How come you never come back? We're searching for you." And the first group said, "We were just went round and round and round. We couldn't find our way out." The second group also says, "Yes, we also couldn't find our way out." And the first group said, "Yeah, we know. You were lost for an hour." So when they went around at one time, two times, it was not an hour's drive. But somehow time just did not function the same way. And it's not one, but two vehicles were lost in that time. So the Encik cut all other vehicles from just going on recce that night. Yeah. Yeah, so this one sticks in my head. Pretty damn scary. Getting lost is one of all the hauntings that you can happen to you, getting lost is really one of the not funny situation. You see ghosts, you can still run away. When you can't even find your way out, where are you going to run to? Walao, of all the things, that's probably the scariest kind of haunting lah. Anyway, I hope I did the confessor right by recalling the story right. I might have remembered the details a bit off, but it's I think it's 90% quite close. Okay. Last confession for tonight, before we talk a bit about the upcoming July calamity in the world, what's reported in the news, and what you need to know. If you haven't been checking out the news and you're wondering what people are talking about, 5th July, what's July, what's this tsunami thing, why is the spiritual people all getting uptight about it, I'll give you the insight on it. Now, for the final confession, this one is pretty damn keras. It's by Ife, epicfishing.com. I didn't really believe in the supernatural much, or at least didn't think too much about it. It was only during my army days that I had encounters that I just couldn't explain away. Just some context. I actually enlisted twice because I didn't do well in my A-levels, and they actually offered me a chance to come out after 1.5 months in, retake my A-levels, and go back in. My first time enlisting, I got posted to Mohawk Company in BMTC Camp 2, Tekong. These days, your buddy was basically the guy that was assigned the bed next to you. So my buddy was this chap called Jackie. Jackie was, for lack of better way to put it, a kanchong spider. He was the guy that would wake up especially early to be the first one to the toilet. He's the guy ironing his uniform all the time. And most importantly, he was the guy who polished his boots in the middle of the night. He did not sleep after lights off and stayed up to polish his boots by the bedside. This was a terrible habit because he would wake me up when he opened his cabinet. The clanking of the door, the sound of the lock, all that was just noisy. It wasn't just me who was annoyed at this. A few of the other guys in the same bunk also got awoken up by the late night noises. So we, or rather I, asked Jackie nicely to please stop opening his fucking metal cabinet in the middle of the night and squatting next to the bed and polishing his boots can. It was just annoying to keep waking up after all the training in the day. Jackie agreed and said he would stop. So, fair enough. We thought, things were settled and there was not going to be any more late night noises. And it was fine for a couple of nights too. But a few days later, I was awakened again in the middle of the night by the noise of the lock and the metal cabinet clanking. I flipped around in my bed and through the mosquito net, I saw that the cupboard was open and someone was squatting in the middle of the cabinet and looked like he was polishing his boots again. I happened to have a really bad eyesight, by the way. So without my glasses, I was almost blind and just see blurry shapes. I could see a silhouette of his botak head and just a glint of his glasses. So I was sure it was Jackie again. Annoyed, I just thought to myself, fuck it lah, I'll just go back to sleep lah. Next morning, I told Jackie off, and he said it was really inconsiderate of him. Another bunkmate chipped in and also said that he was woken up too. At least 3 of us in the bunk had been woken up by the noises and had seen the cabinet open and someone squatting there. But Jackie was surprised and swore that it wasn't him. He said he was sleeping too and didn't hear anything at all. So the rest of us were like, is this guy sleepwalking or what? And worse, waking up to polish his boots, sleepwalking? What the fuck? So that night, before lights off, Jackie came to me and said, okay, I know you guys don't believe me. Here's my keys. He had locked the cabinet and passed me the keys. The lock was a pretty standard lock that we all use, so he had only 2 keys to it, and Jackie had given me both of them. I figured, sure, I'll keep the keys tonight, at least I'll get to sleep properly. I put the keys underneath my pillow and went to sleep. That night, in the middle of the fucking night, I was woken up by the same noise again. Same like before. I flipped over and was about to sit up and shout at Jackie, but I suddenly realized that the keys were underneath my pillow. I reached under and the keys were really still there. I felt the fear shoot through my veins, but I could see exactly the same thing as before. The cabinet doors were open and again, there was a silhouette of a guy squatting in the middle of the door. I was fucking scared. What could I do? So I just flipped back to the other side and closed my eyes tight and pulled the blanket over my head and just ignored the hell out of the noises and tried to sleep. Somehow I managed to go back to sleep. Next morning, the moment the lights came on, the guys on the opposite side of the bunk came over and I could tell they were pissed off. They were about to speak to Jackie when I reached under my pillow. At that point, the cabinet was still locked and Jackie was just waking up. I pulled out the keys and looked at them, just to be sure they were actually there. They were. Jackie looked at me and said, can you pass me my keys? My toothbrush inside. So I did. I looked at the other guys and just said, I saw it also, but the keys were really with me. The other guy looked stunned and I could tell they realized that something was wrong already. So I just said, okay, don't talk about it already. It really isn't Jackie. But guess what? The next day, I got the news that I was being offered a chance to retake my A's and I got the fuck out of that bunk the very same day. Thank God I wasn't going to spend my BMT in that fucking bunk. So, that was my first enlistment and my first encounter in army. My second time. My second time in, damn sway. I was posted back to... Light's a bit bright now. Give me a minute, guys. Sorry, I had to pee. Drink too much water. I'm back. What did I miss? Hi, Fox. Okay, I'm gonna go on part 2 of the story. My second time in. Damn sway. I was posted back to Mohawk again. And I was like, what the fuck? But thankfully, different bunk, different floor, totally different group of guys. The only other thing that happened during my BMT was much less. The only other thing that happened during my BMT was much less frightening. I got woken up in the middle of the night and heard drums. Like very Malay sounding drums. I was on the 3rd floor, so relatively high up, and the drumming sounded like it was coming from downstairs, where we always did our roll call. I remember waking up and sitting up, listening to the drums for a bit, and then my new buddy, CG, also woke up and asked me if I heard it too. I just said that I did, but that we should just ignore and sleep. Haha, what else to do, right? So after BMT, I was posted to CISPEC for the sergeant's course. I think now CISPEC is on mainland, but back then it was up on a hill. That it was called Rocky Hill, which means Ife, you're younger than me. I'll tell you why later. Anyway, that place also got problems, but the incident that got me in the most trouble was actually out in the jungle. We were out on recce exercises. I think it was 6 of us in a group, and basically just from checkpoint to checkpoint and navigating everywhere. I carried the signal set, mostly because I just didn't want to do the navigating and figured that I'll carry the heaviest thing and not do the mental work. She got a plan. We had been walking for quite a while, but early dawn till afternoon, if I'm not wrong. We stopped and decided it was time for a short makan and pee break. We found a small clearing and dumped all our backpacks in a pile. Half of us went off to pee, while me and 2 other guys sat down and leaned on the backpacks and rested. That was in the middle of the fucking afternoon, bright sun and all, okay? When the other guys came back, the first thing out of their mouth was, "Where's the signal set?" I turned and looked at a pile of backpacks. Come on, it was less than a minute ago that I had dumped it right there behind me and sat down. We all panicked. We searched through all the backpacks, but no signal set. Searched around for at least half an hour, but really no signal set. What the fuck? How on earth can something that heavy just up and disappear, right? I was carrying around the damn thing the entire day and had only put it down for a minute and it just disappeared. Long story short, we searched like crazy, but really couldn't find it. Had to report it lost, and all 6 of us kena sign multiple extras. Weekend duties and the dreaded 1206 form. I can't remember how much it was, but it was damn pain. How much we earn only? Still have to pay for the damn missing signal set. Anyway, that's some of the stuff that happened. Still got more lah. Some even more fucked up ones. But I think I don't have the time to write them down today already. Thank you. Thank you, Ife. Why I say I know Ife is younger than me? Because he mentioned that by the time he was in CISPEC, it was no longer on Rocky Hill. The CISPEC that I knew was in Pasir Laba camp, facing Safti. I was the batch that almost finished BSLC over there, and we moved over to Rocky Hills in Tekong, where CISPEC had its campus. No, not campus. Camp over there. True story, guys. Not shitting you on this one at all. I remember it just as it was yesterday. Remember, I was very on the ball, right? So when they asked for volunteers, put up my hand. What was I volunteering for? I have no idea. Just volunteer first, find out later. I ended up going to I ended up going to CISPEC camp at Rocky Hills, carrying the sack of rice for the Taoist priests. I remember there were about 4 or 5 spiritual leaders, all of different faith, standing at the camp to do blessings. So I was holding the bag of rice, and the priest will pray, take the rice, throw, take the rice, throw, to bless all the places lah. He was telling me, oh, Alpha lah, Bravo lah, this place got ghost lah, or this place don't touch lah, this one the armory them chui lah. But he saved the worst comment for Foxtrot. Okay, Foxtrot. Foxtrot was right at the other end of the camp, facing the hill. And that time the key was not given to us yet. So every single company we were able to open the door. Only Foxtrot we couldn't open the door. And this is what the Taoist guy told me. Oh, Ing liao lah. Now all the spirits from there will come here lah. Because I cannot cleanse ma. So they need to go somewhere and hide, right? I laugh lah. Turns out that when I was posting out, when I came over, that was my company building, Foxtrot. Okay, sorry. When we were blessing the place, we didn't know what building was what building. But turns out the locked place was actually Foxtrot, my company. I knew, or at least I have the knowledge of what the Taoist guy told me, and that kind of fucked up with my psyche, because now I'm sleeping there, I'm thinking that this place is the most haunted place lah. But the most haunted thing that happened to me was that my bed shook. That was all. You were at Foxtrot, Koi at Rocky Hill, Jungle Head. You and me same. Okay? I was on 4th floor. Yeah. That was also where some of the other stories I had took place, like the bed shaking thing, the ammo dump thing. But for some reason, when I was in reservist, right, no ghosts, yeah. Only active days that got ghosts. Why? Anyway, so we're done with all the army confessions. I'm sure I got a lot more I'm going to keep for next year. And if you got any camp stories, army stories, please do let me know. Reach out to me, send in your confessions, and I'll be happy to read it. Did anyone send me today while I was online? Oh, thank you. I run in vibraniums. Send me a nice little picture of how it will look like. The funeral dolls. Okay, now on to the Peng Kang Hill. Peng Kang Hill is the one at Pasir Laba, isn't it? You run up there, you prone, and then you start sliding down. You get sand in your underwear all the time. Wow, Jason also a Foxtrot. Training to be soldiers, fight for our land, once in our life, 2 years of our time. Have you ever wondered why we must serve? 'Cause we love our land and we want it to be free, to be free. Yeah! So, if you have not yet heard the story about why people are talking about July being a terrible month, in fact, the rumors, if you were to believe them, has gotten so far and wide that even mainstream travelers are taking heed not to travel to Germany. And in one of the latest report, travel has dropped down to 85%. So there's a 15% drop in travelers to Japan during the time of July. And that can be attributed to one character called Ryo Tatsuki. Ryo Tatsuki is let me give you a bit of background information. Ryo Tatsuki is a Japanese manga artist born on December 2nd, 1954 in Kanagawa Prefecture. She publishes under the name of Ryo Tatsuki. She's famous for her prophetic graphic novel, Watashi ge Mita Mirai, which translates to The Future I Saw. First released in 1999 and reprinted in 2021, which compiles vivid dream visions of future events. Rio gained notoriety for seemingly to predict major global events like Kobe earthquake in 1995, Princess Diana's death in 1997, Freddie Mercury's death in 1991. In 2011, Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, her book March 2011 warned eerily matched the actual disaster. Now known as the Japanese Baba Vanga, her dream prediction style seems as eerily accurate by believers. So in July 2025, Premonition. In 2021, reprint forecast a catastrophic undersea quake between Japan and the Philippines in July 2025, followed by a tsunami 3 times larger than 2011, specifically dated to be July 5th, 2025. The prophecy has sparked a wave of anxiety. Hong Kong tourists cancelled dozens of flights. Inbound travellers dropped by 11 to 50% in May and June of 2025. Fear rippled across East Asia, Taiwan, mainland China, and South Korea all saw caution in bookings. Platforms like Bloomberg, NDTV, Reuters, The Economist, and the Washington Post covered the panic. So, quite mainstream already. Skeptics versus believers. Japan's meteorological agency and scientists deny it, stating there's no scientific basis for date-specific predictions. Yet the collective anxiety remains real. Part superstition, part caution. So I have to thank Stefan for actually sending me a lot of reading materials, citing evidence of other people also talking about how this calamity will likely happen. But according to Stefan, who sent me this, and I'll share it with you guys, it is never said in this is the article, but it's from Japanese, changed to English translated already. I'm going to read it out for you in case you can't see it. The dream came on the 4:18 a.m. of July 5th, 2021. So that was what made people mistake the premonition for saying that it's going to happen on the 5th of July, 2025. Okay, so, but who knows, right? So according to this article, it says that during what Rio wrote in her diary, during my visit to India, I had a dream that a great disaster was about to happen. If I use a metaphor, the water level in the Pacific Ocean south of the Japanese archipelago was rising, like boiling soup. This was a scene I saw at the time. I don't know if it was a volcano or a bomb exploding under the sea. Take note, bomb exploding under the sea, because that has that gives people another clue. Because the details are still unclear. I also told this to my friend who lived with me at the time. And recently I had the same dream again. This time I saw the date. The disaster will happen in July 2025. I was looking at the Earth from an aerial perspective. If I say it's like Google Earth, I think you'll get the idea. Suddenly, the seabed between Japan and the Philippines will erupt. As a result, rivers of holes in the sea will spread out in all directions. Countries around the Pacific Ocean will be hit by a tsunami. The height of the tsunami is about 3 times higher than the tsunami from the Great East Japanese earthquake. The land was compressed and pushed up by the impact of the tsunami. From Japan to Taiwan all the way to the Philippines, everything will be next to each other. What do you guys think about that? Why I mentioned about the bomb? Because did you know, and I also just discovered this recently only. Sorry, let me find my notes. I just found this out as well. And do you know, according to history, and I did a check on this, right, and verified it is actually true. There is a nuclear bomb on the seabed near Philippines. Let me give you the story on that one. In 1965, at the Philippine Sea, a B-43 H-bomb went missing. How did that happen? On 5th of December 1965, during the routine weapons transfer aboard the USS Ticonderoga in the Philippine Sea, an A-4E Skyhawk carrying a B-43 thermonuclear bomb, approximately 1 megaton, rolled off the elevator into the ocean along with his pilot, Lieutenant Douglas M. Webster. In the fallout, both the pilot and the aircraft were lost, and the bomb sank to the depths of around 4,900 meters. That's about 16,000 feet, near Okinawa and Kiki Islands. Near those islands. It is only known that the nuclear weapon lost while armed. The B-43 had no removable core, meaning it was fully weapon ready, a rarity among such accidents. The incident remained classified until 1989 when it sparked a diplomatic inquiry from Japan. Denials about environmental risks were issued, though no recovery was ever taken. So why does this matter? Because in the description that Rio mentioned in her vision, it did say that it looked like a volcano or a bomb exploding under the sea. So what do you think? Now let's go to the news that was screen captured and sent to me. Above the Norm on Facebook says southern Japan has been rocked by 5 earthquakes. And this I think just came in about this evening. At first they denied, right? Say nothing, there's science have not found anything. Now it says Japan hit by 5 major earthquakes today as fears of mega quake grow. Southern Japan has been rocked by 5 major earthquakes over a magnitude of 5 today alone as a relentless swarm near the Tokara Islands passes 900 quake since June 21st. The strongest so far, a magnitude of 5.5, struck at 3:26 p.m. local time, shaking the Toshima village. Authorities have now issued a new national disaster plan, expanding evacuation zones and warning over 700 towns to prepare for possible magnitude 9 rupture in the Nankai Trough. Panic is rising across social media as talk of the Tokara law spreads, and long circulating prediction points to July 5th, tomorrow, as potential disaster date. Thailand conducted a tsunami drill today, June 27, as seismic activity continues in the same region devastated in 2004. Over 15 earthquakes have struck the Andaman Sea in recent days near a submerged volcano in the same fault zone that triggered one of the deadliest tsunamis in history. Thailand isn't waiting. A full-scale evacuation drill was carried out across 6 coastal provinces. Sirens, evacuation readiness under pressure. Fuck me, it sounds like, guys, we are in it, we are in end times now. CNA, 16 hours ago, as of this evening, Japan is bracing for a possible magnitude 8 to 9 mega quake along a seabed zone known as the Nankai Trough. Experts say the earthquake could cause damage worth up to 1.1 trillion and affect around 8 million homes. Is it safe to go on a trip to Japan in the near future? Oh my goodness. Shit is hitting the fan for real. Global disaster news. Heads up, Japan. It's 30 minutes as of this afternoon. Earthquake swarm in Ryukyu Island near Kogashima Ken in southwest Japan continues. Stress engines. More earthquake, more bad news, more end of time stuff. If that prediction really comes true, we are in it for a huge crisis. And perhaps that's why my Japanese shaman isn't staying in Japan. He's flying over to Bali in Indonesia. And that's where I'll be for next week. Up on the mountaintop, meditating and doing spiritual work. So I think Bali being south, pretty much way down south, is pretty protected. I'm on top of a mountain lah, so I guess I'll be rather safe. I don't know about you guys, but I'll be safe. So if you want to come and join me, head over to Bali and give me a text. I'll be somewhere there. So Indonesia, Australia, etc., but Malaysia seem to be safe. Singapore also safe, what? Eugene, you recall which Rinpoche said in your interview with him back then? Yeah, even it's that guy, the I forgot his name. He's the one I interviewed. He was saying the same thing. He said the same thing. So this is not just a one-person premonition. This have been quite the talk. In fact, Master T and his wife came down just a few days ago. She herself also said that in the spiritual realm, the energy has actually started since the end of June already. The vibration there is very unstable. So we are in it for end times. What do we mean by end times? I don't believe we are in it to be destroyed entirely, but there'll be a shift in an awakening. A spiritual shift in awakening. More people will have gifts. People will wake up. People will have special abilities. Skeptics will still be skeptics, but we'll see a great divide. And the world is actually trying to fight back. So I don't know. This could all be nothing, or this could all be something. But you are hearing it here with me on Friday Night Live. My name is Eugene Tay. About to sign out. But before I do, let me know what you think in the comment section. What you want to share with me. What you want to share with the public. Let me all know. But if, let's say the world doesn't end tomorrow and you want to join me on Changi tour, I'll be there at 7:30 to sign up. My number is up there. You can go and text me, +65 8337 9360, or go to our website and check it out as well. Title says we are end times already since COVID. People got special abilities. Welcome to the X-Men. Maybe not so much the X-Men. Maybe try Heroes from 2006. Remember the movie Heroes? Yatta! When people started discovering that they have things and they're dealing with it, I think it's more that than X-Men. Okay, don't end before SG64. World War end lah. Yeah lah, so don't think so. Yeah, Godzilla. Eugene, you recall? No, is this something? I think I missed out. Bro, 2,000 years ago, Jesus' time, they also say end times. Yeah, that's true. Always say end times. Repent! End times are near. Okay. Oh my. I exited already. 11:57. I should really shut down and head off now and go to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for all your generosity, your text, your sharing of this video, your links, telling your friends about us, you're sharing your confessions. I'm actually grateful. Thank you to all my patrons as well. Also, if you would like to check out what I'm up to, check out thehallsonthehill.com. We now have a physical venue to run classes, to do meditation, for healing. We have with me in the center some practitioners as well. So do check us out. We are at 195 Pearls Hill. We just opened last month in June. We're still very young and we are growing. So things are still work in progress. But you find out more information on thehallsonthehill.com, or you can go find out if you want to buy merchandise and find out about tour. Supernaturalconfessions.com is the place to be. And if you want to get my new book, which is out 10 years for the 10-year anniversary version, it'll be out in end August. So you can get your pre-booking now. It's also found on the website at supernaturalconfessions.com. And that's it. Eugene Tay signing out. Telling you that, remember, hantu are friends. Good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's session. Bye-bye. See you next week.
What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.